I bought a set of Y wheels so you don't have to. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Johnny from Dwood Fingerboards, and today's video is all about Y wheels. So Y wheels is a brand from Portugal, and it belongs actually to Y-Trucks and Yellowood decks. And I've had a lot of Y-Trucks and Yellowood decks over the last years. And honestly, I never had the chance to try out Y wheels because I never met someone that has Y wheels. So yeah, I just got myself a set of them to test them out, and finally I'm able to give you some feedback. So buckle up and enjoy the show. Let's start with some general facts about Y wheels. So first things off, they are always dual bearing wheels. That means you have two bearings per wheel, and they're designed to match and fit perfectly on Y-Trucks, which I guess makes sense. In general, for dual bearing wheels, you always need some trucks with longer axles. In the past, we've always been limited to Y-Trucks. Nowadays, there's a few more options. We can use also dynamic dual edition trucks. We can use BRT dual edition trucks. And also we can use some cheap China trucks, which are mostly known as shop trucks. The wheels are made from urethane, and they have different shapes, different generations, different colors, and also wheels with graphics. I got myself a set of Y3s, which is, I guess, the third generation. The reason I got these ones is that they have a street shape. That means they have slightly sharper edges. They have a diameter of 7.5 millimeters. At least that's what the website says. They are clear color. They have 65D urethane, and they have some nice little graphics on the outside, and they're actually priced at 40 euros or $46. The wheels came in this little clear plastic box, which is pretty nice. It's solid plastic, so you can reuse it for any kind of stuff and store whatever you want inside it. On the back side, it says made in Portugal, which is a pretty nice details, I think. And then inside the box, we have this little sheet of cardboard with the logo on the front side, and there's some double-sided tape so the wheels don't move around in the box. And then on the back side, we have a little text with random information. Now let's start with the first impression after getting them out of the package. And we're now just starting with simple visual things I noticed. The first thing I actually noticed was that the color was not crystal clear, it was more frosted clear, which I personally like. Second thing I noticed was that there was no consistency on the graphics, which might be a sign that they are actually hand painted. That's just a guess from my side. Next thing I noticed was that the surface of the wheels was pretty raw, and they kind of looked like being used or not finished, like from the production. And yeah, that was a little surprising. Another thing I noticed was that the shapes were different, so from wheel to wheel. That means simply that some wheels had sharper edges, like more straight shape, and other wheels had less sharp edges. So there was also no consistency in the shape. What I also noticed is that the riding surface was different from wheel to wheel. That simply means that some wheels had wider riding surfaces, some had slimmer ones, and even per wheel it was different. That means that if you look on the wheel and you see the riding surface and just turn it slightly, then you see it's getting like slimmer and then wider and slimmer and wider and so on. So there was also no consistency on the riding surface, on the width of the riding surface. So all these things I just mentioned for me are actually a sign of poor quality and no quality control, to be honest. Another thing I noticed is that the bearings are actually centralized in the wheel, which is not a bad thing at all. But what you need to know is that if that's the case, then the axle pin is not fully covered by the wheel. So it will probably stick out slightly. And if you don't land a trick and the board lands sideways and you get some pressure on the axle pin, then this will actually cause, on some trucks at least, axle slip. So yeah, that's actually a negative point about that. And if you have axle slip, this can actually block your wheel from rolling. And for me personally, that's super annoying. Next thing I noticed is that at least two wheels have some air bubbles inside, which I don't think that it's supposed to be like that. And the last thing I noticed is I just measured the wheels, and the width of the wheels is 4.8 millimeters, which is quite okay. It's consistent on all four wheels. But now let's come to the diameter. On the website it says it should be 7.5. And I know we're talking about small wheels, so you always have a kind of tolerance. And actually, one of the wheels is around 7.5 millimeters. But the three other wheels are around 7.9 millimeters. Which is, I don't know, I don't have any words for that. That's a little sad and disappointing because I've told you about many inconsistent things about these wheels, and now even the measurements don't fit what the website says. Yeah, that's actually another sign of poor quality and a lack of quality control. Now let's come to the most interesting part, the feeling of these wheels. First off, I got myself a set of Y-Trucks because that's what they mostly recommend for these wheels. So after I screwed them onto my brand new Y-Trucks, I was putting my fingers for the first time on the board. And I was absolutely shocked. Why? Because these wheels are made from urethane and they have a hardness of 65D. At least that's what the website says. And you know what? 65D is actually on the more softer side. So I was expecting a soft feel, but not in that case. These wheels feel hard as rocks. And the first thing that came in my mind was actually that they feel like simple plastic tech deck wheels with bearings inside. For real. I mean, they don't feel soft, they don't feel smooth, nothing. They're just hard. And honestly, I was super confused because that's not what I expect from urethane wheels, especially with a hardness of 65D. Now, after trying them for a while, I was thinking, okay, maybe they need some time to wear in, but that was not the case. They are still super hard, and for my personal preferences, too hard and feels super uncomfortable. I mean, maybe they might be an option for outdoor wheels, and I honestly questioning who's liking that feeling. And that brings me actually to the point at the beginning of the video when I mentioned that I never met someone in real life that has Y wheels. Because I think that's not what most fingerboarders like. Another additional thing to mention is that the graphics actually wear off pretty fast. So after the first minutes, my table was covered with blue dots, and I was wondering where they come from. And then I realized that there is a blue graphic on the wheels, or at least there was a blue graphic. And another issue is that I have no clue how to get rid of these blue dots. I was trying to rub them off, but it didn't work. So yeah, my table is a little messed up. But anyway, another thing to mention is that they don't have any squeak like probably most of you are used from urethane wheels. And also they are not super grippy. I mean, they have a slight grip and they are grippier than like standard plastic wheels from flat face or kart wheels, but still not that much. So overall, in relation to the price, I'm super disappointed. I was expecting a premium fingerboard wheel, but what I got is just poor quality. Now let's come to the most interesting part. Do I personally recommend Y wheels? Well, definitely not. This might be a hard one, but to be honest, guys, there's a lot of better options for at least the same price point, if not cheaper, that offer you a real premium experience and real premium quality. So guys, that was it. Thanks for watching. Hope I could help some of you out there. If yes, just leave a thumb up. And now my question to you guys, what is your opinion about Y wheels? Just let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe.